like
yes,
very bare, it's not much stuff on it.
exactly.
And,
so it is not an art object to be exposed, it's actually a bike to ride on?
Yes.
Who is trying out the riding?
Not me.
That is the answer I was waiting for.
Yeah, I'm too heavy for that. Maybe you can.
And here they are, the bicycles, but this time not to move, but as a sort of a huge perpetuum mobile, the entire bicycle nation, China, implicated one in another so that nothing can move anymore. It's from mobility to a static situation.
Well, Weiwei foremost seems to be a collector, whether it's vases or pieces left underground, found during excavations, whether it's bicycles or whatever objects he seems to find, they take significance if he changes the context. And now these stools, I don't know whether they're meant for schools or in the street for kitchen, the dining table of a peasant family, or in Europe it would be the stool to milk a cow. Put together, they remind us almost of the Holocaust monument, with their different levels, all equal and yet every single one different. And maybe there's the ghosts of all the people who used to sit of them who are circulating under the stools, or maybe on the surface in this beautiful building, under the baldachin he put up there of pure Chinese silk. Well, ever since Gaudi, architects are looking in nature for forms. The perfect cathedral would be a forest, and every single element somehow has to be inspired by the vertebra of an animal, the skin of a snake, or whatever, to find new architectural forms. And Weiwei just turns it around. He takes metal armor and uses it as if it was an organic form. By the way, the exhibition is nice because he's using the boxes for the transport as tables for the exhibition.
Practical is not.
You cannot use it.
It's a design for no use.
He goes to collect whatever he finds, or he sends out people. And of course, since he's also an architect...
The stadium.
Oh, yes.
Was it digging the foundation?
Because you worked on the stadium as artistic counselor to Herzog and Meuden.
Yes.
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 Did you like the final result?
I like the final result, but in architecture, the final result is how people use it. So I don't like it. I hate it. That's why I criticize it. And then they think, how can you build it and criticize it? I said, because architecture, how you use it is the final. It's not how it looks like.
Yeah. And you mean all these big marches there, that's what you don't like?
They're too much propaganda.
Yeah.
It's not really You know, the one Zhang Yimou did.
Yes. Yeah.
It's amazingly. It's such a disgusting thing for me, you know, to see how they try to illustrate some idea which is fake. You know. Yeah, it's completely fabricated.
Is it used nowadays? I mean, what do they do?
No use, because they don't encourage any popular culture such like rock and roll or something.
Yeah.
So they are so afraid when people gathering together. So it's almost like no use. Huh? It's a waste. It's a complete waste.
I see you are building.
This
You prepare a building.
I'm doing a show in California. This jail.
Is it still on today as a prison? It's a tourist attraction now.
Each year there's a million.
It's an island.
A million visitors.
Yeah,
Yes.
million visitors. That's rules or regulations.
Of course.
And
Yeah, I
I
think
see
that.
It's a really popular tourist place.
This is going on. Our architects here.
But this is your chief architect, Kat?
Yes.
New buildings out of old materials sometimes. He's collecting doors and window frames. But then he goes one step further and he fabricates the doors and the windows out of marble, which comes from Carrara in Italy. I think he would love to see how people take this very seriously, looking at the pig's head as if it was Nofretete, which is next door, making fun of these absurd symbols we may have. But then on the other hand, he takes it seriously. Every head has an individuality. The dog is clearly a dog you would like to take home. The serpent's head is scaring, maybe the most beautiful, like out of science fiction. And all this somehow is connected to the summer palace near Beijing. However, at the difference of these same animals at the summer palace, he puts his heads on like corkscrews, on spirals, so that they become slightly surreal, not with the full body as in the palace of the 17th century. And for sure, somehow, they look like heads of party members. Well, this is truly archaeological now, because these irons, armors for concrete pouring, are bent by the earthquake, where the schools collapsed and many other buildings. And where these irons, straight, were meant to maintain the buildings, all of a sudden ended up like spaghetti. And his teams, they discover wherever excavation happens for new high-rises to come upon tombs, thousands and thousands of tombs all over China, of course. These are beautiful, these little mounds of just debris. And you find the tombs when they make modern construction and opening the ground.
Yeah. That's how those get formed.
And sometimes you find these vases from the Han Dynasty, and instead of preserving them like archaeological objects, you know, with the aura of time and fragility, he dipped them into BMW car paint, and all of a sudden, out of old makes new. Oh, the car paint.
Yeah.
BMW Farbe.
So you couldn't identify it's old or new.
Neon blau. BMW. But the vase itself is probably a few hundred or 1,000 years old. 2,000 years old.
Yes.
Painted.
So this is all that's left of his studio, which was destroyed in 2011 by the authorities. It did not stop him to rebuild it, a bigger studio, a new one. And the debris he collected to turn into a sculpture, another of his play with reality. This must be his cell. Certainly a Grand Deluxe cell. A cell where normally 18 prisoners would be jammed in. No windows, neon by day and night. Cameras everywhere, even in the bathroom. Of course, he never goes anywhere without his little camera or an iPhone or whatever he has, documenting what he is seeing, and he is seeing things we don't see. And he's thinking to make use of things we never thought of. But then you've always been an artist, no?
Not really. I've been raised all these poet and artists, very good one.
Yeah.
And but I raised up in Cultural Revolution, and it's against art. So nobody expect we can become an artist. Even that time, the artists have been called art workers.
Right.
So and to be art workers is very dangerous.
Yeah.
So my father doesn't like me to become an artist.
My father neither. My father was a doctor, and he would never allow me to be a filmmaker.
So
when he saw my movies, he thought they are awful, a shame. Yes. 1-year-old daughter, she always say, "Why do you make films like that?" And I say, "Well, there are people who like them, even in China."
It's so important to film to us, and we all love it. The people, ordinary people, or film lovers, or filmmakers, professionals. We all think this is greatest, one of the greatest films in the history.
Unbelievable.
Where else did we see such a large collection of objects? Of course, we immediately think of the glasses in Auschwitz, the shoes, and the suitcases. Those were of the people killed there. He's collecting these stools where generations of Chinese have been sitting on. So in a sense, it's a requiem as well.
So this is life, and here used to be death.
Afterlife.
Afterlife. I like your wall, the green wall. Bye bye.